Amarin's come in and he's like, Amar out, you're gone.
He's probably needed a little bit of a change. I think this could be a kickstart for his career again.
They're not calling him Kai Havertz, they're calling him why haven't? Like, why haven't you put it in the back of the net?
Well, Steven Gerrard was incredible. He done everything.
He's not as much as Wayne Rooney.
We're talking about midfielders here, you know what I mean?
Oh, he could play there as well.
Rooney left Everton before he had his national insurance card, boy, so I don't know why you're talking him up like...
I fell out with him every single day, and I would never, ever apologise for that because I wanted to play.
Pick on someone your own size, as they say.
I answered it, and it was Rafa, and he says, Robbie, would you like to sign for Liverpool? In a slightly better Spanish accent.
I was going to say, was he does?
The yellow tie is in the National Football Museum in Manchester.
You know what? And it might be sat next to my my white suit from the 96.
Seriously?
Let me tell you this, yeah? Ange Postecoglou, my seatbelt is on, bro. High line for life, mate.
Who we are.
Yes, who we are.
Who we are,
Are
mate.
you not entertained?
Hi everybody, welcome along. This is The Lineup, brought to you by BetMGM. Download the app or visit betmgm.co.uk. 18 plus, gambleaware.org. As ever, I am joined by the former Cruiserweight World Champion. He is Tony Bellew. I am joined by YouTube sensation Expressions. But the man completing our lineup this month is one of the most naturally gifted goal scorers to ever grace the Premier League, 9th in the Premier League all-time scorers list. He's had stints at Leeds United and Manchester City, but without doubt, it's his legendary time at Liverpool he is best known for. You've got it, nicknamed God by the Anfield faithful. I'm delighted to say we are joined by the one and only Robbie Fowler is in our midst, ladies and gentlemen.
What an introduction that is, by the way.
Well,
yeah.
Robbie, how could we not? Welcome to
Pleasure.
the lineup, and you are most welcome. Gentlemen, before we get stuck in, make sure you watch the show until the very end because I have one big announcement for Tony Bellew and Expressions. You need to stay tuned for that.
What are you talking about, blood?
I know.
Been talking to now.
Who are you setting me up with now?
Yeah.
What are you lot doing?
I've kept that very quiet. You're going to need to wait to the end. Don't leave early, and you will find out in the fullness of time. We're going to get into Liverpool with you, Robbie, a little bit later on in the show. But I want to kick off the show today by talking about the biggest name to move in the transfer window, Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford. Are we agreed, Robbie, kick us off, that this is a good move for Rashford so that he can play football again?
I think it's a perfect move for him. I think, he's, we don't know the reasons why he's sort of gone under the radar in terms of performances at Man United. But he's probably needed a little bit of a change. I think this could be a kickstart for his career again. So I think it's a perfect move for all concerned, actually. I think Manchester United probably wanted him away from the building. Aston Villa have got a very, very good player. We know that, and this could be the making of him again. This one,
yeah, the making of him again, John.
It sticks with me what Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank said, and this was an insane kind of quote that I'm going to say. If you remember, he said Marcus Rashford was the best finisher of all the English forwards, included Harry Kane. So if he's the best, wow. That's what a player Villa have got, and let me tell you, he has got to be in his bonnet. He is going to want to show Ruben Amorim and go, look at what you've done. Watch me go. I'm telling you now, I would put Marcus Rashford on for anywhere between 7 goals and 10 goals before the end of the season. I think
wow.
he's fired up.
Ooh, I don't know, Tone, man, because the thing is, obviously we've seen him at Man United, boyhood club, grew up a Man United fan, do you know what I'm saying? And them performances, Theo Walcott, you've seen it, do you know what I mean? If you're not going to run for your boyhood club, Man United...
I like Theo.
No, come on, bro. Brother, I'm working with Theo this week, and I still said it. Yeah, bro, let me tell you this, if you're not going to run for your boyhood club, your Man United, the fans that you were one of them fans in the stadium cheering the team, you're not going to run for them. If you can't run for Man United, who are you going to run for?
But he's took it personal, the things he's had with managers.
And also, and you're right, he may go to Aston Villa and score I wouldn't say 10 goals. I'd probably say score maybe
Anywhere
like
between
5
7 and
goals
10.
or something like
Do you
that.
think it's a success anywhere between 7 and 10?
Yeah, but
Massive.
the thing is, it will be like Jesse Lingard all over again. When you go to West Ham on a loan, you perform, but as soon as they sign him up permanently, as soon as Rashford gets a permanent deal, he's going to be back to how he was. You saw him when he signed his contract.
Yeah.
You get me? He was looking like Eddie Murphy in Beverly Hills Cop, bruv. When did he get that beard from? He ain't ready to play. He's chilling.
How do we think, guys, Ruben Amorim has handled this whole Rashford situation? What do you think, Robbie?
Look, you know, it's one of them things. But obviously, a manager coming into a club, you know, he wants to get his, you know, his stamp on the club, and I understand that. I really do. He's probably wanted to bring his players in. That's not been the case. He's probably wanted to play a certain way. I mean, coming into Manchester United at the time he's come in, you know, I think it's a case of looking. They need to stabilise it. Maybe he's gone into his ethos and his remit a little bit too soon. Maybe just shut up shop and then go and play your pre-season. Give the players a little bit more chance. How he's handled players, I mean, he's his manager. You know, he can handle it whatever way he sees fit. You know, he's got a job to do for the football club, and he sees that one as the best case. So, you know, fair play to him. You know, it's not
tough.
I like Amorim, Tony. He says what he means and means what he says.
It does, Jim, but every player's different and you can't treat them all the same. Some players need a good telling off, but some players need their arm put around them and a little bit of TLC. Everyone's different. If everyone was the same, it'd be boring. And I just think it's a risky game he's playing here, because let me tell you, if Marcus Rashford goes to Villa and turns up and gets goals, I don't care what anyone says, them guys on that board are going to look at Amorim and say, what have you done to him? Because how has he gone there and just fired them into another Champions League spot? If they hold on to that Champions League spot because of Marcus Rashford and his goals, he's in trouble.
What happens if you turn it around then? What happens if he goes there and
fails?
Yeah. So, is Amorim proved right there? Have Manchester United proved right?
I think then you look at once again, you go back to the player and you go, it's his attitude.
The thing is with Amorim, like, I think, like, obviously he's got his philosophies and stuff, but he's come in mid-season and you saw Ruud van Nistelrooy had a little new manager bounce with Man United. He kept the same sort of philosophies as Ten Hag, but tightened things up. Amorim's come in and he's like, I'm out. You're gone. You're gone. You're gone. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he's trying to turn Kobbie Mainoo into a Adiola Lookman. Didn't you see him? Are you playing Kobbie Mainoo up front and you got 2 strikers on the bench? Like, Amorim, what he's done to Rashford, don't get me wrong, it's either brave or it's very silly. Do you know what I mean? Like, Robbie, if you was the star player like Rashford was, do you know what I mean, pretty much for Man United, and you was frozen out, you was on ice like Captain America, like, what would you do? Like, how would you feel?
I've been there. You know, I left Liverpool because I wasn't playing. You know, obviously I love Liverpool. You know, I've got so much time for the club, got so much time for the fans. But when you're not playing, it's probably the worst place in the world. I'm not saying Liverpool's the worst place in the world. I'm saying you as a professional,
but
you as a player.
take that to the manager. Because it's like Sancho, wasn't it, what was done to him?
Well, you speak to the managers, don't you? So we're all having conversations about Rashford. We don't know what's going on behind,
No,
behind
that's true.
closed doors.
That's true, Robbie.
So whether the managers say to him something and, you know, he's saying the press, we don't know.
The manager said he would play the guy with the 67-year-old with a hip replacement
the
instead of Marcus Rashford. So I know what's going on.
But you as a player, Rob, you've been there. So when you were dropped as by a manager, did you not go in and go, listen, what have I done? What can I do?
I mean, we'll probably talk about Gerard Houllier later on, and I remember going in to see, when I wasn't playing, I went in to see Gerard Houllier about what I needed to do to get back into this team.
What did he say? And
his argument to me and his conversation was, look, if you come in to me and ask why you're not playing, that's disrespectful to the players who are playing. And I went, oh, no, that's wrong. You know, you as a player, you need to know what you need to do to get back into the team. Now, these conversations you should be having with players. Well, this is why you do it. This is why you should be doing it, because you can't get in my plans or in my thought process about playing for this team unless you do this. Now, I'm not saying he's like a big dictator and you've got to do it this way, but you've got to sort of talk to the players. And Tony was spot on before about every player being different. You know, you can't have... The modern game now is full of robots. And I think years ago, and I don't want to be these players who talked about the past, or these were the best years, but there was characters and personalities. Now, I'm not sure whether we're going away from that within football now, and we are talking about players who are very, very set in the realms of what of what a football club should be. But the characters, you need characters in games.
I get what you're saying. Robbie, here's the thing. On Rashford, can he get back to what he once was? A prolific goal machine. Do you think he can get back to that?
I mean, when you talk about prolific goal scoring machine, I think he's had a few good years, but he hasn't been prolific in terms of the longevity of him scoring goals. And look, I think he's an excellent player. And look, he's fell by the wayside, and for whatever reason, we don't know. You know, whether people make it out as though, you know, he was too in tune with the outside world in terms of his football and concentrating that. But he's an unbelievably talented player, and he probably needs a move to go and see a good side of that again.
Yeah. I hope it works out for him, I must admit.
See, the thing is with Rashford as well, like, I feel like his ego, that Aston Villa move's good for him because of his ego. They're in the Champions League as well. Me personally, I think he needed to go to maybe a club where, I don't know, maybe he was like big fish, small pond, and he had to prove himself, like, because I just think he could just get caught up in the same philosophy of what's going on here. They got Leon Bailey, they got good players.
Can he play in the Champions League? Is he eligible?
Yeah, well, he's played in Europa, so I think he can play in the Champions League for the thingy. But Jim, I'm going to ask you, what's your life like during the transfer window, and especially deadline day? I see you trending, man.
Deadline day, I tell you, I've done so many of them, Expressions. I used to love it on Sky Sports. With the yellow tie and the usual phrases, expect the unexpected when next to nothing was happening. But it's great. The intrigue of it is still there. People seem to love it. I get told that that's one of the 2 days a year that I work, which is very nice of people.
How close were Tottenham to signing Mbappe?
They were the good one.
For you, I would have loved to have brought you that news. Bit of breaking news, Mbappe says, oui.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Jim.
I'm afraid it didn't happen, but it's a hell of a ride, transfer deadline day. There is never a dull one. It's great fun,
It's not
Tony.
the same now, Jim.
You and I were talking about it earlier. It's not the same. Why is it not the same?
It's just not the same. I mean, it's not the characters. Like Robbie said before, there's not characters in football. Well, there's not enough characters. I'm sorry to say, on our TV sets these days, there's not enough characters because they're all being washed out, and we're now in this mode of it's got to be this, it's got to be a certain bit of that, or a certain bit of this. Just if it's not broke, don't fix it. Just leave it alone.
Yeah.
And the old method was working absolutely fantastic. There's nothing wrong with it.
Were you a fan of it, Robbie? Or did I used to drive you mad when you watched it?
No, I enjoyed it. In fact, I was half hoping I'd turn up and you had yellow tie on today, actually. I think we as players, I think we're obviously always intrigued as well. So, I mean, look, you're privy to what happens at your football club, but you haven't got a clue about what happens anywhere else. So
sure.
It was interesting for us as well, really.
Yeah. The yellow tie, for those who are interested, is in the National Football Museum in Manchester.
Is it really?
It is, Tone. Sitting
right,
next to John Motson's sheepskin jacket.
You know what? And it might be sat next to my my white suit from the 96.
Is that seriously?
Yeah, that's in the Football Museum in Manchester.
We need to speak to BetMGM and we'll do a show from the National Football Museum. I'm going to end up there stuffed. Neither of the two teams vying for the title spent a penny in the transfer window. Arsenal flirted with the idea of Ollie Watkins, guys. We know that, but they didn't get him. They bid 60 million, or was it 40 million? I don't quite remember, but they didn't get him. No striker was signed by Arsenal, and nobody went into Liverpool. What's your take on that, Robbie? Did you think Liverpool or Arsenal or both would do business?
Do you want me to talk about as an ex-player, as a
Please
player?
do.
We want the real. We want
the real deal.
As a fan, I want my club to sign every player. You know, every player who's out there, and you know, I'm a believer that if you're not signing players, you're not necessarily standing still. You're potentially going backwards because other clubs are signing players, so they maybe get themselves a little bit of a step. So I think when you're in a position that you are top of the league, top of the Champions League, I mean, you go and set out a market and go and sign a player, and you set out a real. Well, listen, this is what we're doing now.
Yeah.
So yes, I believe that clubs should be signing players. But speaking here as a a Liverpool fan and watching them now, I mean, they're unbelievable, and the players are unbelievable, and they're in such a good place. So I'm not overly disappointed, if that makes sense. Because
sure.
they haven't.
It's typical.
I get
Liverpool.
that.
It's typical Liverpool as a business. They won't spend. They are probably the most efficient run club in the world. That's how far I would go saying. They will not spend. They don't need to spend. Whereas Robbie's spot on. They should be strength. Don't let people get closer. Get further away. Go and sign a couple of players who are going to knock you that further up the pitch a little bit more. But it is what it is. It's like Arsenal need a forward. We all know it.
Yep.
Arsenal need a forward really bad. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why. There's so many forwards that they could have gone for.
And we know what's going on, Tony. Come on, bro. Listen, they went to the Emirates. They gave City 5. You get me? Abs love settings, bruv. Gave them 5. You know what I'm saying? Haaland, he was looking like Britney Spears. He was doing nothing, bruv. He was just standing there, goal hanging. Hit me, baby, one more time. The ball's not coming, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? Honestly, he was looking like Mia Lesnar. He was looking like Brock Lesnar's daughter, fam. Like Haaland, it was crazy. Amanda Fripp from Matilda. Where was he? Where was he? Like, Mikel Arteta seen that performance and said, what, striker? About you lot saying they were flirting with the idea of Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins, 40 million. That's like me seeing Beyonce at the Grammys and thinking I could flirt with her. What are you talking about? You get me? The security, I'm not even seeing Beyonce. They're not seeing Ollie Watkins.
I've seen you in action. That could happen. That.
Oh, that's my guy, you know. I swear that. Robbie Fowler. And I'm not even going to lie. When he was reading out your achievements, you forgot, because his name's 433 Fowler. You don't know about that. The 4 minutes and 33-second hat-trick, blood. Yeah? I told my missus behind closed doors, I said, call me Robbie Fowler.
I missed the trick there.
You know what I mean? 4 minutes and 33 seconds is legiondary.
Robbie, he mentioned it. Where do you stand on Kai Havertz and the Kai Havertz argument?
I mean, look, you know, if I'm being honest here, I mean, he's not my cup of tea. I think he's okay. I think he's, I mean, this might come back to obviously bite me in the foot, but if you're a team who've got real aspirations of winning, you know, Premier Leagues, Champions Leagues, then I think you probably need someone better than Kai Havertz playing in that, you know, vocal striker point of view.
Yeah.
Look, he's okay. He'll do a job every now and again. I don't think he's been as consistent as probably what you'd like him to. But, I mean, I think the obvious answer is he's okay, but I think there's better out there.
I mean, he's constantly in conversations, isn't he?
I can't understand for the life of me, and I'll say this again, I've said it before. Ivan Toney went away.
Yeah.
Why didn't Arsenal? Ivan Toney is a better striker than Kai Havertz. I'm sorry, I don't care which way you want to dress it up. He knows where the net is. Why haven't you gone and got him?
But Ivan fancied a big bag of Saudi money.
I'm sure he would have fancied a league title or the Champions League over Saudi.
If Arsenal went in for Ivan Toney, and they should have really, because let's be honest, Kai Havertz, you saw the chance that he missed against Man City. You know, the fans are saying they're not calling him Kai Havertz, they're calling him why haven't you put it in the back of the net? Do you know what I mean? He's like a Statue of Liberty with feet, bruv. You know what I mean? Like Premier League giraffe. He's just not good enough. Do you know what I mean? For me personally, I just don't think he's good enough for Arsenal. Like Arsenal play some good football. Yeah. Like I could be here as a Tottenham fan and I could be biased, but I'm not going to do that. Arsenal play some good football. If they had a striker up top, a proper finisher.
Yeah.
Listen, this title, they'll be getting a lot closer to this title. Liverpool, come on, they're playing champagne football. They don't really need to buy any players.
Robbie, he's right, isn't he?
No, I mean, can I just go back to what he was saying? So, you know, when Arsenal was saying that, I mean, they were linked with Tony, they never sort of really went for him, did he? No. So the last day of the window or the day before the window, they're linked with Ollie Watkins. Now, for me, that's like a bit of a token attempt or a token gesture, because they know perfectly well Aston Villa are not going to get rid of him when Duran's gone and Watkins has got no chance.
Like an optics bid.
So maybe just to appease the fans and keep them happy. We've tried.
It was a modern day Suarez bid. That's what it was when they did the plus the £1. It's
40 million pounds.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that. But Robbie, here's the thing. We cannot talk Arsenal without discussing the two teenage sensations, Miles Lewis-Skelly and Ethan Nwaneri. I mean, you cannot fail but to have been impressed by these two.
Yeah, I think they've been brilliant. They've had great starts, haven't they? I think when you look at Arsenal in terms of where they are and how they're playing, I don't think they'll win the league. I'm sitting here with my Liverpool head on it. I think, but these are the players who are going to take maybe Arsenal to a new stage, a new step. They've been magnificent, haven't they? So, I don't really want to get too carried away with them, because I think when we get carried away with young kids, I think everyone puts a little bit too much pressure on them then. So, I'm all for letting them go about the business, letting them go and do the working hard and quietly, go, make their own plaudits, And I love that about, maybe what a young player coming into a setup should be. That's what it should be like. Just let them play.
You burst onto the scene as a teenager.
Yeah.
There was pressure on you. But you got through it. What would you say to these two if they're watching this show, and they might well be?
Yeah.
How do they deal with it?
No, I think first and foremost, you need, obviously, your manager, your coaches need to sort of get them and keep them sort of an even keel. But I think the importance of the leadership around them in terms of the players, the older players, the more established players, keeping their feet firmly on the ground. You know, you look at the likes of Declan Rice, you know, Saliba, Gabriel at the back, who need to sort of get hold of these players and just say, look, get a little bit carried away at times, but, you know, we're reining it in because we're reining it in for the reason that we want you to progress and be better. So the importance of leaders in football clubs or leaders in, you know, the boxing world, you know, the YouTube world or whatever, I think it's massively important that you have someone to sort of stabilise them.
But for Arteta to bring them in such a big game, them kids, like, you've got to give him credit for that as well, because obviously they've got injuries, and Nwaneri, and especially that Lewis Kelly who started the game, like, they both scored goals, 18 years old. Like, I haven't seen kids shooting like that since I was watching Top Boy Season 2, bro. Do you know what I mean? I'm not even going to lie. No, honestly, like, them lot were going in. And obviously, I'm a Tottenham fan, as you know, but having them in the Hay Lane, their future's bright. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
The confidence.
It was better than season 1, incidentally.
What, did you watch it, Jim?
It was great.
Hey, can we do a live watch along for season 3 if it comes back? Me and you.
Let's do season 3 together.
Let's do it.
Here's the thing, Robbie. We cannot have you here without talking about the contract situation regarding Salah, Trent and Van Dijk. What is going on? You know this football club back to front and inside out. Everyone's saying, why are they not pledging their future publicly to the football club?
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know. I mean, I should know the club. You know, I don't know the ins and outs of, you know, transfers or, you know, players signing contracts. I mean, I personally think with the situation, I think it's quite poor from the football club to let these players get to a situation where, you know, we're umming and ahhing what they're going to do. I'd be amazed if 2 of them don't sign, but I'd be equally amazed if a other one stays. And that's just obviously my opinion.
Yeah, the one who might not sign is Trent.
Yeah, and look, I think it's you know,
he's going to go to Real Madrid, isn't he?
I mean, look, that there's talk, and I mean, that's obviously the chat everyone's having. I think when you look at obviously Virgil, Van Dijk, you look at Mo Salah, they're obviously players who've sort of maybe mentioned contracts, whereas Trent's really been quiet. So you don't really hear that much about Trent, do you?
Yeah, true.
So, but look, you know, I want them to play. I want, you know, my club to have the best players in the world, and as much as, you know, Trent gets a little bit of stick defensively, I mean, he's probably one of the best players in his position in the world. So, you know, any club that does get him has got an unbelievable player, and I hope he stays at Liverpool.
Just on that, before Tony comes in, on the stick that he gets defensively, how do you see that? Does he deserve that stick?
No, not at all. No, I think when you're playing for a club like Liverpool, you know, but there's a chance that you're going to have more possession. So you need players like Trent to sort of deliver, you know, chances for everyone else.
Yeah.
It's like the argument with England for, you know, World Cups and European Championships, and saying, oh, Trent can't play because he's defending. When you think of the teams England play, you want Trent in the team because he's going to get more goals by Trent playing there. So I know people will question him, but let's not forget he's a player who's won absolutely everything. He's played for an unbelievably top team in Liverpool, and defensively, he's good. You know, and we get sort of, you know, maybe critical of the fact that, oh, you know, sometimes he'd be a little bit too further forward.
Right.
But that's maybe not down to him. That's maybe the manager saying to him, go and play a little bit forward.
That's the big problem though, Rob. He's so good going forward. People have got to find faults. So if he makes a slight mistake or whatever, he's caught out of position for a minute. He's caught out of position because he's trying to create more goals. I've never seen a right back be so influential in a game. Yeah. I've never seen a right back do what he can do.
So the streets labelling him James Ward-Scouse, is that false information? You just got to ask the question.
He's an exceptional footballer, and you know, he'll do whatever he chooses to do. And you know what? He has every right to be able to choose whatever he wants. He's won absolutely everything at Liverpool Football Club.
Sure.
He's played for his boyhood club.
Definitely.
If he wants to go and live a different life in Madrid, then good on him. That's up to him.
Yeah.
That's it. He's allowed to have that choice, Jim. Just because he's from Liverpool, it doesn't mean he needs to stay in Liverpool. He might want to see the world.
I agree with that. I mean, I would like people to get off his back, I must admit. Robbie, as a former Manchester City striker, and of course, Manchester City, Robbie Fowler. I want to get your thoughts on Erling Haaland. Recently, we were joined on the show, and viewers of the show will remember this. The guy was great with us. The former Real Madrid and Spurs midfielder, Rafa van der Vaart, personal friend now of X's. Yeah, let's hear what he had to say that day on Erling Haaland.
I always said that I think it's take away his pace. Mm-hmm. I think it's a normal player. and I don't want to get rude to him, but technically wise, I think it's normally not good enough. He needs pace, and normally City has the balls a lot of times in the box, and he scored a lot of goals.
Yep.
But it's I miss something to talk about world class strikers. You know, when you compare him to, I don't know, in the past, Van Basten, in my point of view, or Van Nistelrooy. No. I don't think.
Haaland's not in that company.
No, I don't think so. And it's people will laugh, but that's my opinion because he made so many goals.
We didn't laugh, Rob. We were thoroughly tuned into that. So Haaland, according to Rafa, is kind of there, but not there. Where do you stand on that?
I mean, I can see the argument, but when you think of a player, I mean, in terms of the goals he scores, I mean, he's unbelievable. And I will sit on his side of the fence and say, look, you know, he's playing for a team who, you know, for the past, 3 years, or 2 years, 3 years that he's been there, they've won everything. So he's obviously not bad, is he? I mean, let's not beat around the bush. You know, he's a player who scores goals. Man City never brought him in, for his work rate or to go and sort of help at the back, because they've got other players capable of doing that. And the argument now is people are bringing that into it because Man City is struggling. He's not struggling because he's scoring goals. Now he might not be technically unbelievable in terms of bringing players into the game or dropping off and dropping a shoulder and going past. That's not his game. But his game is to score goals, and he scores goals. So if you're after a player, I know obviously, he's mentioned the likes of Van Basten and, conversations. Look, that's valid. We're talking about unbelievably good players.
Yeah.
Have different eras. He's playing an era of Manchester City who have been dominant for the past, 6-7 years. I know he's not been there for that, but they brought in a player who could have taken him to a new level. And what he's achieved in the 2 years that he's been there in terms of what he's won, I mean, it's astonishing. So
is it Robbie? Is he a good all-round player?
He's a great goal scorer. He's not.
You want from your forward?
No, he's not technically brilliant in terms of what we're all saying. But I mean, look, would Arsenal have him? Absolutely. Yeah. Any team who wants 100%. To win trophies, any team who wants to score goals and sign.
Well, when you sign a forward, if you're a manager and you sign a forward, what you say to him? I want you to create this, right? Mate, I just want you to score goals.
Yeah.
That's all I want you to do. I don't care what, just score goals.
Well, one guy who knows all about that, Thierry Henry, he was speaking at the weekend and talking about Haaland's lack of movement and touches in the game at the Emirates. I mean, does he do enough for the team, or is he just a very good goal hanger, X?
Brother, see, the thing is, these lot are right. Like, he was bought to score goals. Man City have a machine behind them. They've got more creativity. Do you know what I mean? They've got so much creativity. They've got chemistry, what they used to. Get me? They were looking like a periodic table the last few seasons, but now it's an absolute mess. But I feel like the machine's broken. Haaland, is he a goal hanger? Yes, I believe that, because he isn't like Thierry Henry's a perfect example. Like, yeah, he played on the wing sometimes, but he played up front. But Thierry Henry is a striker that could change the game. He could pick the ball up from the halfway line, take it past however many players, and then he could still put it in the back of the net. And I've seen that man slide in front of my face so many different times, Thierry Henry. Haaland, though, he's like, do you know what I mean? He needs everything working for him to be on form. Like, he's not going to pick up the ball and change the game by himself. Like, if the team's not performing, Haaland's not going to perform. Do you know what I mean? You saw it against Arsenal. It was Erling humble. You know what I mean? That's what it was. It was Haaland. Like pretty much, yeah. They were laughing at... No, honestly, that's what it was. I rate Haaland, don't get me wrong, but you need a machine, a well-ordered machine behind him. But it's like having all the money in the world and no stylist, yeah? You're going to dress like Kanye West misses. Do you know what I mean?
Nothing. But if you want to run it, just keep Gabriel Jesus. Because that's what he does. Gabriel Jesus runs and works.
Yeah, absolutely.
You want goals, go and get Haaland.
Yeah.
There's the comparison.
I had a lovely conversation with... I was chatting away to Thierry Henry the other night there at Dennis Bergkamp's tribute night. Bonjour, Thierry. Mon ami. Since our last show...
You just dropped a couple of names on the floor there.
I was just pitching them about there.
Shamelessly.
I was showing off.
You know what I mean?
So, since our last show, Everton beat Spurs at Goodison in what some are calling the lineup derby.
But what do you want, Blatt?
Yo, bro, I'm just wondering where you're at, because I'm here watching Everton play some team, but I don't know where they're like, oh, yeah, they've come back out now, bro. What's going on, man? Shut up, bro.
You know what, Tony, blood? Come out of retirement, blood. I want you in the ring, blood. What's man talking about? 4-0. I want you in the ring. I want you in the ring, Bellew, blood. I'm tired of it, fam. I want you in the ring. I want Conlon from Creed, blood. I want the man that faced Usyk. I want you in the ring. I don't care. I'll die before I lose to you, Bellew. I'll die.
Brother,
I want you.
that was not me. Brother, you see that man wearing glasses? That's not me. That's Steve Urkel, bro. That was Steve Urkel, blood. That wasn't me. I don't wear glasses. Look at me. That weren't me. Whoever wants to fight you, Tony, that wasn't me. Do you know what I mean?
The licensed hands are about to be let go.
But at the same time, do you know what I mean? I could understand why that man was upset. You get me? Like, we conceded a goal by a Premier League player that's got more Chanel handbags than goals in the league, fam.
Lord.
No, it's the truth. It's the truth. Calvert-Lewin, fam. Like, how are we getting dunked on by Calvert-Lewin?
He's the top player.
The Toffees and the Foxes. My head was gone. I felt like one of Henry VIII's misses, blood. My head was gone. I'm telling you, bro.
The Toffees and the Foxes. Oh, this is getting
But here's the
better
thing,
as
at
we
least
go
you
along.
made some signings on deadline day.
We did.
Come on, X.
Tele.
Yeah. What's he about?
Tele, yeah? That's what I'm talking about. The Paris Pop Smoke. What's man talking about?
Yeah.
Can't believe it. And then we got, what's his name?
Danso.
Kevin Garnu. Danso, bruv, yeah? The Beast, yeah? Fast. Ramadan settings, bro. Listen, I'm gassed. We got next of Kinski. We got free man like Morgan, Jim, yeah?
Yeah.
What's your team got, bruv? Well, you man got a Drew
Ballingall,
McIntyre.
sorry,
Scotland.
Just a Kanu, all I
Trust
can
me.
think about is-
Nah, listen, Jim, I know.
Listen, wanker
like,
Kanu.
jokes aside, excuse you.
No, that's all I can think about is Kanu. I just
Yeah,
did Kanu.
you know what? Jokes aside, jokes aside, obviously, we're going through a tough time in the Premier League. Do you know what I'm saying?
We're going to buff you now.
I don't look at the table anymore, Tones. Do you know what I mean? Like, the way things are going, like honestly, but I just want to be left alone. I don't want to be seen by the media. Do you know what I mean? I just want to be at home safe with my wife and kids. That's what I want to be. That's what I want to be.
Back, but don't worry, bro. The Messiah's home. Moyes is
You're going
back.
through a tough time.
But Jim, Ange
good times ahead.
Koglu, bro, yeah? Just know, we have got 2 cups. We got a semi-final on Thursday, and then we got the FA Cup and we got the Europa League. It's Ange Koglu. Forget about the Premier League. We were never winning that.
It's not imposter
We
Koglu.
were never... I don't know, bro. Well, you know what? A man last week said it, and I had to bring him up on it, bro. I don't know who it was, but I had to bring him up on that. Do you know what I mean?
Was he wearing glasses too?
He was saying Drosta Koglu. He was saying imposter Koglu. He was saying poster no clue. But I don't know who that was. But you see this man here? Expressions Marcellus Uzin, fam. You know them way there. Let me tell you this, yeah? Ange Koglu, my seatbelt is on, bro. High line for life, mate. Let's do this.
Who we are.
Yes, who we are.
It's who we are,
Are you
mate.
not entertained?
It's who we are.
It's who we are.
I have to tell you, that was nothing short of magnificent.
who we are,
Tony,
mate.
Everton. Moyes is back.
The Messiah's home, Jim.
Looking good. The final Merseyside derby is on the horizon, and it's at Goodison. There won't be a dry eye in the house.
The Messiah's home. He has come back home. I wanted him to come home for so long. It's just, it's a good time to be an Everton fan. I'm not going to lie, I usually like playing them when things aren't going well and they're at the very best because there's no expectation on us at all. But now, I think Coppite to come into this game thinking, I don't want to be playing them at this kind of time. And this is the kind of time where you can rest on your laurels a little bit.
Yeah.
But listen, this is a derby. They're going to be both at it from the word go. I just want to see a great game, full of passion, energy, and just get at each other. Let's just see what can happen.
I answered it, and it was Rafa, and he says, Robbie, would you like to stand for Liverpool? In a slightly better Spanish accent.
Going to take a quick break from the world of football, and let's go into the area of boxing. Tony Bellew's preferred choice of subject, specialised subject. Tony, Tyson Fury, retired. Are we going to see him in the ring again?
According to him, no. But then he makes decisions and says things more based on emotion. I mean, listen, he'd done a retirement video in his car. I mean, that tells you all you need to know. It wasn't well thought through. It wasn't, put out there properly. He's probably had a conversation with someone on the phone. Something's been said. I've had enough. I'm retiring.
No, but Tony,
And that's how quick it was done.
Tyson Fury saying he's retiring is like him saying he's not going to have any more kids, bruv. Come on, surely he has to fight AJ, man. Anthony Joshua. We need, the streets need this.
Listen, I think eventually, I still believe it will happen, but I don't know. If he's retired, then brilliant, good on him. He's got a lovely family, he's got a lovely set of kids to look after, but
Yes, he does.
I just think the draw is too big of that fight. And I think it's going to come about. I mean, there's talks now of Anthony Joshua going to the Congo and facing Martin Bakoli. And we haven't seen a big fight of that kind of magnitude since George Foreman faced Muhammad Ali in Kinshasa Zaire in '66. So I don't know. It just depends where you want to go with it. And I would
do we see him fight again? Yes or no?
Yes, I think we do.
I think so.
Yes, I think we do. Yeah. Live on talkSPORT, February the 22nd, we shall see Beterbiev against Bivol. Once again, looking forward to that. We shall also see, Tony, Daniel Dubois defend his IBF heavyweight title against Joseph Parker in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. What do you think? Should we look past Daniel in this one, or will Parker be a force on the night?
Daniel shouldn't be overlooked, but as long as Joseph goes in there with the right game plan, doesn't allow Daniel to get his feet under the table and start fast, then I think Joseph Parker's got a chance. If this fight goes past 4 rounds, I edge towards Joseph Parker. But believe you me, Daniel Dubois is dangerous in them first 4 rounds. He can wipe anyone out, as we've seen.
Does the winner of that fight Usyk?
Possibly, yeah. But we've seen Daniel face Usyk once, and that's just, there's no beating around the bush. He quit. It's not the first time he's done it twice. But listen, where he's at right now, he's shown that he's overcome that kind of stuff. And against Anthony Joshua, he was phenomenal.
I think you're putting slander on my favourite fighter's name. He didn't quit. The first time, he was doing the Black Lives Matter. And the second time, he was proposing to his missus when he was on his knees. I like Daniel Dubois. He's one of my favourite fighters, so let's not put dirt on his name.
Tony, you serious? He quit? I mean, that's a big allegation about any fighter.
There's no 2 ways to get away from it. I'm sorry, mate. I get it when X is not going to say that, and Robbie's not going to say that.
No, he did quit. I was joking.
I've been in the ring and I've been punched all over the place most of my life. And it's got to, when you go in a boxing ring, you've just got to understand that I can't give in here. I can't be seen to be found wanting. And against Joe Joyce, he took a knee. I understand he's got damage. He's got a fractured eye socket and he's in a bad way. But there's many fighters who've had fractured eye sockets. I've watched Miguel Cotto carry on taking a pounding with blood coming out of his ear. I've watched numerous fights over the years. I've been in fights where I've had a 20-stitch gash over my eye after 3 rounds, and then I fought till the end of round 12 and outpointed the guy. You've just, fighting through broken hands, broken jaws, bangs, knocks. I remember getting hit so hard by Adonis Stevenson once, I thought he'd cracked me skull.
Yeah, serious.
I generally thought he'd cracked me forehead. All I heard was a crunch. Thankfully, it must have been his hand. But you've got to learn to go through the pain barrier sometimes, and I don't say that lightheartedly because I'm stupid. I was willing to go to extreme levels.
Can I ask you a question? You know when Dubois fought Usyk, and you're saying he obviously took the knee, and he
first one was against Joe Joyce.
But was that was the fight? Sorry, when didn't he punch below
the belt? He hit him on the protector.
Okay,
everyone likes to say it was a
did he milk it a little bit?
Everyone said it was a legal body shot, but the fact is, Rob, he hits a protector. It's called a protector for a reason. It's protecting something. And it's actually worse to get hit on the protector and lift it up than it is actually just get hit in the because when you get...
I know.
When you hit a protector, it literally sends them up into your chest. But I think if that's how you talk as well. But if Usyk would have... Usyk does go down, and he is theatrical because he's obviously in pain. But if that referee would have started counting, believe you me, Usyk's getting up.
Definitely.
He's getting up. But if he can milk it and have a little volley and say, listen, look what he's done wrong. Ultimately, the fact is, Daniel Dubois hits Alexander Usyk low. He hits him on the protector. Alexander Usyk wears a trunks on his waistline. We've all seen his navel can be seen. I mean, he's just fought Tyson Fury, and I was wondering what the neck on the shorts was. You know what I mean? Some of them come to the ring and the belt's up here, but... It suits people's agenda. I just say it as I see it. I just tell the truth.
No, you're quite right.
Everyone's got an agenda. So when there's pictures where Alexander Usyk is bouncing around and his shorts look high. Everyone prints that picture. Just look at the start of the fight when the referee.
So tell me now as you see it. February the 22nd, Parker or Dubois.
It's a proper pick, and I really like the fight. I can make a case for both. Like I say, if it goes past 4, I edge towards Joseph Parker. The better boxer, the better natural boxer too, and also a man who can follow a game plan. But the power and the danger all lies with Daniel Dubois.
And does Bivol get his revenge on Beterbiev?
Oh, that's another belter. That's another great fight. I don't know, but the winner of that has got David Benavidez waiting for them, and he's top notch. Beterbiev and Bivol. I want to pick Bivol purely because of Beterbiev's age, but Beterbiev's an animal. He's such a brilliant, it's like he's getting younger. This guy's 40, Jim, and he's fighting like he's 20. He's 40 years of age.
Incredible.
And he's fighting like he's 20.
You're going better BF, aren't you?
I'm really... Listen, it's a flip of a coin. That's how good that fight is. And this is what's great about boxing. His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh, he's got these fights happening, and we're also all missing. It's finally on. The bad blood is going to come to an end. Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. I mean, I don't care whether you're a boxing fan, whether you're hyper.
Yep.
You know you're watching this fight. I don't care whether you agree with it, what's happened in the past, whatever have you. You're watching that fight because the world wants to see it. Not just Britain anymore. The world. This fight has doubled in magnitude. This is going to fill Tottenham's arena. These two is just going to be gold. And can you imagine if the fathers are at the table?
Oh, so who wins that?
Oh. Oof. I'm going for Conor Benn knockout inside 6
Wow. He ain't been knocked out though. Oh no, he has. He got stopped by Thingy. But yeah, that was a Randy Savage. That was an elbow.
No,
that was an elbow.
Come on.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Can't be the Scouser like
You're
that.
taking Ben.
You know what? Bro.
I just think Conor Benn is the younger, more explosive. And once again, though, another one. It goes past 4 or 5 rounds, you're in a world of trouble. But if he comes out and lets his hands go the way he can, he's a problem.
And a yes or no, if Ben wins, does Eubank Jr. retire?
Well, listen, if you've been beat by a welterweight, then you're in bad trouble and you're a middleweight. You've just basically asked the guys to jump up the best part of 20 pounds and he's beat you. You're in a world of trouble. So Conor Benn, he loses. He's come up 2 weight divisions, goes back down to them 2 weight divisions and fights someone his own size. Pick on someone your own size, as they say.
Very good indeed, guys. Now, we cannot have Robbie Fowler here in studio on this show today without asking him some questions regards him growing up on Merseyside. So, Robbie, what was life like for you growing up in Liverpool as a young Evertonian? I didn't know this.
Yeah. The good old days.
No, I've seen sense since, haven't I? I've seen sense.
Come on, lad, don't rub it in.
Yeah, I mean, football was, I suppose it was a way out for a lot of us in Liverpool. And when you think of me growing up, I mean, I was born in 75, all through the 80s when Everton and Liverpool were both brilliant teams, you know, both sort of fighting with each other. Now, I was never really a bitter Evertonian. But I always respected Liverpool anyway, so you know I knew that they were 2 brilliant teams, and it's funny actually if you look at the atmosphere now to what it was years ago, I think it was better years ago because I think the two supporters appreciate each other, didn't they? Whereas I don't know if they do anymore. You know,
is that true, Tone? Yeah.
No, I think. Listen, I've said this before. I'll say it again. I'm a Scouser before I'm a football fan. So when it comes to rivalries, I don't think our rivalries is as bad as some of the others that you see up and down the country. I used to be the most bitter, horrible Evertonian you'd ever see. But used to be, yeah. You know what? After losing my brother-in-law, he was a mad Liverpool fan, followed him everywhere. So part of me, that just went with him, if I'm being totally honest. And now, me best mate's lad, our baby, plays for them. So in Jayden Dan's, I actually support them at times. If he's on a pitch, mate, with a Liverpool shirt on, I want him to win. Simple as that.
But that's good, isn't it?
No, it's brilliant, but it goes around, as Robbie's just touched on there, I think it will have been, I'm too young, I'm born in 82. So my brother, who's the same age as Robbie, like, he understands, like, when they were fighting with the 85 Everton team, around them times, the 2 clubs are massive. They're dominating English football, and it must have been such a buzz for the fans to go and see in cup finals against each other. Every derby meant something. I think nowadays, don't get me wrong, this next derby that's coming up, the last one, because it's a big deal. It means a lot, yeah. But there's so many derbies where it's a formality before you just go in. And it wasn't like that years ago. So I can imagine how heated it got and how great it was. But now it's two clubs at the completely different ends of the spectrum, and you've just got to accept that and understand it. You'd have to be a fool to think we're competing with Liverpool. We're not. Can we make them have a hiccup? Did they lose the league last year at Goodison Park? Absolutely they did, yeah. But ultimately, they're on another level to us at the moment, and you've just got to respect it and admire it. What they've done, what Jurgen Klopp achieved at that club, I mean, he redefined the club. Yeah. He put them back on the map, let's be honest. What he done was absolutely... What Jurgen Klopp done should not be overstated. He was amazing.
And Rob, you came up through the ranks.
Yes.
You got to train alongside and play alongside Ian Rush.
Yeah.
I mean, you must have learned so much in that time with a guy like Rushy.
Yeah, I think being a player, I think when you go through careers, you talk about, you know, how you want to play. You always sort of look up to someone. Now, you know, we've just mentioned I was an Everton fan, but I always loved Rushy in terms of his goals and, you know, the goal scoring that he was. I mean, he was unbelievably prolific, but he was also a great player. And I'm glad when I went to Liverpool, I'm not saying he took me aside every single day and you know, do this, do that. But, you know, watching him in training was like, you know, every day was a learning day. I know that's a little bit cliched, but you're watching him and you're learning every day. You know, and he did take me aside and, you know, it sounds stupid, but he taught me how to run. Now, when I say he taught you how to run, I don't mean like you run with your back up straight and you get your arms. It's how you run. So it's how you bend your run to get inside defenders. It's, you know, it's you play on defenders' shoulders. You know, it's you know, cut inside here and little simple things which you might, you know, maybe take for granted as a, you know, a runner or a football player. But when he sort of goes into details and says why you run here or why you run here and you know, why you're playing this defender's shoulder, you listen as a young kid, you know. And I'd like to think even now I'm a real advocate of wanting to learn the game, and Rushy was like very instrumental in certainly me, you know, understanding the game from a striker point of view.
Robbie, the word outside of the studio is that you hate the term Spice Boys. Is it true?
I mean, I don't get too carried away with it, if I'm being honest. I think it's derogatory for a start, and I know why. You know, and it came from the fact that, you know, in the late 90s when, you know, we had a bunch of young players who, you know, potentially, or not potentially, who were supposedly, you know, out drinking all the time when we should have been, you know, playing games. But, I mean, I can't speak for every player, obviously, but I speak from myself, and I was the ultimate professional, you know, and when I had a game, you know, I was concentrating the game. So, you know, it was maybe a tag that someone within the media come up with, because at the time the Spice Girls were
yeah.
I've always wanted to know whose idea was the white suits.
I mean,
because that's the biggest Spice Boy thing that gets thrown at. He's taking up white suits. But whose idea was that? Gary Neville made a silly statement the other day of, if I'm going to make a stupid statement, if Robbie Fowler was at Man United night, go away, mate, with that 92 shout, because let me tell you, you were around a gang of drinkers, you were around a gang of lunatics. You know, you've got. Do you go on as if like these were the perfect professionals?
Yeah. Robbie,
they were just top players.
Tony's touched on something there. Gary Neville quoted recently saying, Robbie Fowler could have been England's greatest ever goal scorer if he hadn't grown up in that Liverpool team.
I think he's already the best finisher.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a better finisher. No, I'm not.
What do you say to that?
I mean, I think we let Tony talk a bit more, actually.
Listen, I've never seen a player or a forward hit the side net more. And I'm not saying that because we're from the same place or not. He's a Liverpool and he scored horrible scores against my football club too many times. But I don't just weigh someone up for the attributes and what they do. How many people hit side net more than Robbie Fowler? And then the goals.
Andy Cole, but I didn't go in the net. Bro. I hit the side netting, bro. He's my guy, Andy Cole.
What do you say to what Neville
One of
said?
the best finishers I've ever seen.
What did I say to what Neville said?
You could have been England's greatest ever goal scorer if you hadn't grown up in that Liverpool team.
I mean, that's disrespectful. I mean, we were probably close to, you know, to match Manchester United. Certainly when I think of maybe 96, that year, I mean, we were brilliant and possibly were better than Man United. We were probably inconsistent against the so-called weaker teams, the teams that we should. And Manchester United used to beat them, whereas we maybe struggled to sort of, you know, win those games. And I know people can bring whatever they want into that. Again, it's that conversation with the Spice Boys, and you never took it serious. But I think it's disrespectful to the players because I played with great players as well. I mean, Tony's just hit the nail on the head there when he said, you know, you are like a product of your environment. Now, I know Manchester United, their environment was maybe changing in terms of the players looking after themselves a little bit better, but they still went out. Now, we know that because we used to bump into them. So, yeah.
I can imagine. It's like Arsenal.
Yeah.
The cultures get changed. Arsene Wenger goes to Arsenal. He changes the culture of the football club. But it doesn't mean to say that no one's drinking there, because Paul Merson was still there. Tony Adams was still there. You know, it does go on, but it's how you manage it, and are your leaders dragging you in? Are your leaders leading like it by example? Because a manager can't live with you. There's only so much he can do. And I think for someone like Robbie imagine if Robbie would have had a prime Steven Gerrard with him. How many goals is there? Because Fernando Torres lives off Steven Gerrard. Without Steven Gerrard, there's no Fernando Torres. Without Steven Gerrard, there was no Luis Suarez wouldn't have achieved the heights he did.
Yeah.
And he's the contributing factor to it all at Liverpool, Steven Gerrard. If he could have had Steven Gerrard with him, I mean, I'm thankful he didn't because, I mean, we'd probably be on about 30 league titles now, but I'm just saying...
Robbie,
that's what
Tony's
gets you
right.
across.
Some huge talents came through at Liverpool during your time there. Tony's right. I mean, Steven Gerrard, Michael Owen. What was it like working with these guys?
Michael was brilliant. You know, I know I said something, you know, I've done a podcast with Simon Jordan, and said, you know, I think I'm better than Michael Owen. And that's my opinion. You know, it's not everyone's opinion, of course. But, you know, you as a player, you've got confidence in what you do. And I would back myself against anyone. You know, I really would, because I'm that confident. But Michael coming through into a side, I mean, he was incredible, really was. I mean, he was so quick. He was a good finisher. And what you see with Michael Owen now is different to the Michael Owen that we know behind the camera or off the camera. He's a good lad, you know, and I genuinely get on very, very well with him. But him coming into the team and the goals that he scored, he was an exceptional player, and we all know that because we look at his performance for England, you know, in World Cups, and you know, his performances for Liverpool. You know, and what sort of went against Michael was the fact that he went to Manchester United from a Liverpool fan point of view. So, you know, I mean, that's sort of gone against him. If he hadn't have gone to Manchester United, then I think every Liverpool fan would be talking about him.
Better memories.
In an absolute, you know, with great fondness.
What did you think of him going to Manchester United?
Look, it wasn't for me. And, you know, Tony mentioned before about Trent. Trent will have, you know, a decision to make pretty soon. And will I be upset if he leaves? Of course I will be, but I will respect his decision. Now, the same with Michael. Now, not unbelievably over the moon, Michael signed for Manchester United, but, you know, I know him, but that's his decision. And we live with that. We live with that and we accept it, and, you know, that's their choice.
Not being biased, yeah, but Gerrard, Lampard, Scholes, KDB, Vieira, Yaya Toure.
Steven Gerrard.
All right, not being biased, yeah. Gerrard, Lampard, Scholes, KDB, Vieira, and Yaya Toure.
You just mentioned players who, I mean, we mentioned world-class players before in terms of strikers, and you know, you look at world-class players, and you've mentioned Frank Lampard, unbeliibable great player. Yeah. Scholes, he was a great player. Yeah. De Bruyne is unbelievable. Who else did you mention?
Kevin De Bruyne, Vieira, Yaya Toure.
I mean, all great players. I mean, all unbelievable players. But Steven Gerrard was incredible. I mean, he done everything. You know,
Just not as much as Wayne Rooney.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, we're talking about midfielders here, you know what I mean?
No, he could play there as well. That's how good he was.
No, but in terms...
Rooney left Everton before he had his national insurance card, boy, so I don't know why you're talking him up like that.
Oh, the kid's the greatest English player ever.
Yeah, but I mean, look...
You say Gerrard every time, Rob.
I mean, I love Steven as a player. You know, and look, it's a conversation. We're talking about great players, and Rooney is incredible. We know that, but we're talking about midfielders and, you know, in their players, you know, in the prime. And if I had to pick any player out of all them, I'm picking Steven over them. And even though all the others are brilliant, Steven is, I know this is a new word, but he's brillianter.
Brillianter.
He's brillianter.
You know, when was that? 2025? Yeah, I have to use that. I've never heard that
as
before.
As a midfielder, he's on
Robbie, you had a difficult relationship, though, with Gerard Houllier. Danny Murphy sits with us on a Wednesday morning with Simon and myself and talks very warmly about Gerard Houllier. But yours was a difficult relationship with him.
No, I mean, it wasn't difficult. I mean, when I'm not playing, I'll be honest with you, I'm not the nicest man in the world. And I used to think I should be playing. You know, I'm one of them. I always ask questions. So when you're not playing, I mean, I don't want to be sitting there with a big smile on my face. I'm upset and, you know, distraught that I'm not playing. I wanted to train every single day. But with that carrot at the end of the week, you want to play and go and score goals. And I sort of never got the opportunity to do that as much as what I would have liked under Gerard Houllier. Gerard Houllier came to Liverpool and he had obviously a plan and he had a process, if you like, to maybe change Liverpool from here back to where they were. And you've got to say he'd done it. But the era I was playing, a lot of the players had sort of been sold or, you know, they'd been, you know, ostracised or whatever. And I think that was the problem with me with Gerard. You know, he sort of wanted to bring in his own method, his own way of playing. And I fell out with him every single day. I'll be honest with you, I did. And I would never, ever apologise for that because I wanted to play. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean I dislike Gerard Houllier because I think when people talk to me about managers, right, my favourite manager was Roy Evans because his man management skill was unbelievable and better than anyone else. Technically, Rafa Benitez and Gerard Houllier were incredible. But technically, you know,
Man management was poor.
man management, technically, tactically is brilliant, but certainly I think to bring out the best of anything, you know, any walk of life, whether you're a businessman, sportsman, if you're a good man manager, you can bring out the best of someone.
Fight for you.
Yeah.
Fighting for you. It's all well and good being good tactically, but if they don't really want to do it for you, they're not. No matter how good your tactics are, they've got to want to run through a brick wall for you.
Do you regret falling out with Houllier so much?
No, I mean, I regret not playing as much as what I did, because you mentioned at the start of the show here that, you know, I'm ninth on the all-time list, and that's what I regret, because I should be higher. And when I think of my career, I scored lots of goals at the start of my career, and, you know, I think maybe 30 goals in my first 3 years, which is probably still a record now. And for a young kid to be doing that is, I mean, it really is incredible. And, I mean, I never realised until after I'd probably finished my career, injuries probably played a big part to me. I've had hip operations, knee operations, ankle operations, you know, suffered with my back. So it probably pains me to say this, but I probably wasn't the player I was at the start of my career, but I still wanted to play and I still wanted to score goals. And I believed I still would have scored goals if I played as many games. Now, that probably hurts me more than anything. The fact is that I'm not higher on that list, because I think I should be.
You know, Robbie, after your spell with Leeds United and Manchester City, you go back to Anfield.
Yeah.
What did that mean to you?
You know what, in a silly sort of way, I'm glad I left Liverpool. Now, I didn't want to leave Liverpool. You know, Liverpool's my club, and, you know, I genuinely didn't want to, but I'm glad I did, because I got to appreciate Liverpool a bit more. Now, I went to other clubs now, no disrespect to Leeds, no disrespect to Man City. Now, Man City fans and Leeds fans will never sort of hold this against me. Do you know, like, my first love is Liverpool. So you go there and you play for Leeds, you play for Man City, then you realise these are not as good, or not as big, I should say, as Liverpool. So I'm glad I got to experience other clubs, but getting the chance to go home and go and represent Liverpool and put that shirt on again was for me, that was better than scoring goals. That was better than winning trophies. Getting a chance to go home, play for Liverpool again, that was probably my favourite moment in my career.
Where were you, Rob, when you found out you were going back to Liverpool?
Well, I mean, Tony will like this. I was actually about to play golf, actually. I was, you know, funny enough, I'd fell out with Stuart Pearce, who was the then manager at Man City, and, you know, I was playing golf midweek. And I was just about to tee off, and a bit of a schoolboy error. I've left my phone on in a bag. So you know what happens when your phone goes off and everyone sort of starts shouting at you. But I answered it, and it was Rafa, and he says, "Robbie, would you like to sign for Liverpool?" In a slightly better Spanish accent.
I was going to say, was he Welsh?
And I actually thought it was a bit of a wind-up, you know, believe it or not. And I went, "No." And then the phone went again, and he went, "No, it's really Rafa. It's really Rafa." That's better, wasn't it? And he went, he said, "We want you to sign. We want you to." And I sort of knew my place back when I went, because I knew I wasn't going to play as regular as what I would have liked. But I knew that I was going to be at Liverpool, and getting a chance to go home, I genuinely think it was the best moment of my career. And I literally on the golf course left my golf clubs with one of my mates and went and signed straight away at Anfield. Rafa Benitez was in the office with Rick Parry, and I signed a contract there and then.
You're making it harder for Trent to leave, you know, saying all of that. Watch when the Liverpool fans say that, they're going to be on to it.
But he's got to go away to see what he's got.
Hey, Robbie, if you could, obviously we ain't touched on this, but if you could name your time playing for England in one word, what would it be?
Oh, God. I mean, how long have we got? Yeah, frustrating.
I thought you would say that.
I mean,
it's hard, someone like Alan Shearer.
Again, but I mean, again, I would back myself. And when I think of, I made my Liverpool debut in 1993. I made my England debut in 1996. I'd scored almost 100 goals before I got my first cap. Now, nowadays, if you think of the Premier League, if you think of an English striker, if you play 2 games in the Premier League, you're in the England squad. Yeah. You know, so, but I had to wait. And there was unbelievable players, unbelievably great players, I know that. But I'd scored almost 100 goals. Now, I mean, I've got 26 or 27 England caps.
Who's the first manager who brought you in, Rob?
It was Terry Venables. Okay. So I've got 26 or 27 England caps. It might be 27. But I'd only started 12 games. Okay. Now, I've got, I think, 6 England goals. So when you narrow it, 6 in 12 starts is not great. When you think of it, 6 in 12 is not bad. But when you think of the amount of 90 minutes I played for England, I think I only played 90 minutes once.
So frustrating would be right.
Yeah, definitely.
Robbie, you've managed in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
You're back. You want to manage here. You're ready to manage here?
Jim, I want to manage anywhere. I mean, I've had 4 spells. You know, I've been in, obviously, India, Australia, Thailand and Saudi and done remarkably well in every single one. So, you know, I am waiting for an opportunity and I will get one. And I know that a club who gets me as a head coach, as a manager, you know, I'll make them better. I'm confident that because I know the game. You know, I know how to bring the best out of players and man management, technically, tactically, you know, very astute as well. I sort of went overseas because I wanted to go away and, you know, show people that I'm willing to go out of my comfort zone. Now, I don't know whether that's sort of hindered me a little bit because, you know, that out of sight, out of mind is...
I didn't even know you managed.
It is a thing.
That's what I'm saying. I know about Frank Lampard, Gerrard. That's been thrown all in. I didn't know you managed.
But what comes over to me, Robbie, today, though, is this huge self-belief that you have.
Yeah.
And you have to have that.
Absolutely, yeah. And look, I'm confident. And you know, when I went to Australia, so I took a team who had finished bottom the year before. We ended up qualifying for the Asian Champions League when I was there. So we had, you can see the 77 goals. The year I was there, we fixed that. We had probably one of the best defences. I think we conceded maybe 20. We qualified for the Asian Champions League. And I built a club, you know, and I built the team in Saudi. I never lost in Saudi. You know, lost my job. You know, I understand, you know, why. You know, it was not through no fault of my own. It was obviously the politics in terms of the people at the club wanted to go down a different route. But I backed myself in Australia. When I went over to Australia, now this sounds stupid and I don't know whether this will make headlines, but I said to myself, I'm going to be in the Premier League within 5 years. And if it wasn't for COVID, I believed I would have done. I mean, I sort of had to come home because of COVID. So, and you know, COVID ruined lots and lots of lives. It did. And it probably ruined my career a little bit in terms of being a manager. But
are you still capable of managing in the Premier League yet?
I would be confident to do it. I'm not, look, I know no one in the Premier League is going to come and touch me, obviously, because I'd need to sort of show them in a different light here. But I will be okay. I will do a good job for whatever team I'm at next. And I'm confident that.
Are you applying, Rob, for jobs?
Yeah. I'm one of the things I sort of, I mean, people go down a data route now. And, you know, funny enough, I did have a CV and at a club just gone. And it was a data-driven club. And the conversation was, we've not got enough data on you. So, well, how do I get data? And I mean, I understand data from a player's point of view, but from a manager's point of view, your data should be driven by, look, I play the right way, you know, easy on eye football, possession in the right area of the pitch, not knocking it around the back just for the sake of it, because I think that is just pointless. It's, you know, getting the possession in the right area of the pitch, and it's your win ratio and your win percentage. So that's the data he should be looking for. You know, can he bring out a club? Can he play the right way? You know, does he understand the game? Will the players play for him? And obviously, you know, your points, you know, are you going to win games? And I've, you know, ticked all them boxes.
Must have been the data that sent Gary Neville to do the overlap, boy, from Valencia. You know the way their tones, like,
Robbie,
if you see this, protect me, yeah?
Just the way you've been talking, I would love you to get the opportunity. I'd love him to get the opportunity, Tony.
No,
you deserve it. You deserve it.
You just said he didn't lose in Saudi.
Yeah.
No,
how do you... I'm going to do my research anyway. No, that's
data.
That's a crazy stat.
Robbie, I tell you where we're at. It's time for you to build your ultimate five-a-side team.
Hey, I can't wait to hear this.
Players that you used to play with. So we're going to have a keeper, a defender. You can have 1 or 2 midfielders and 1 or 2 forwards.
I've been practicing being a clairvoyant. I think he's going to say Stephen Gerrard.
Who's your keeper?
You know what? And look, I've been asked this before, right? And you know the answer I give you is very, very diplomatic, right? I have played with unbelievable players, right? Really unbelievable. But what I do is, because I'm going to leave here and I'm going to get phone calls. Why haven't you picked me? Right? So I'm very
John Barnes, Stephen Gerrard.
I'm very sensible in terms of what team I'm going to pick, right? So you know what? I always pick a Scouse five-a-side.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm playing.
Oh, you're playing?
Wait, you're playing?
You're in your own team?
I'm playing, yeah.
Hold on a minute.
Hold on a minute.
This has got to be the first person that's come on the show and just threw themselves in there.
I
love that.
I'm taking penalties, throw-ins, corners. You know,
right, taking over the show, bro.
That's a winner.
Hey, yo.
So I'm playing.
Well, let's do it. Who's your keeper?
So in goal is Tony Bonus. Tony Warner.
Tony Warner.
Yeah.
You don't know who that is, do you, Jim?
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't.
He's obviously a Scouse goalkeeper
Tony Warner.
who was at Liverpool for a long time. Well, his nickname was Bonus because he just sit on the bench. He used to sit on the bench and just collect his bonus. So we call him Tony Bonus.
Tony Warner. Okay.
Tony Bonus, you know.
I mean, brilliant keeper as well. Brilliant keeper.
Just never
All right.
chance to
No.
One defender.
Jamie Carragher.
Oh, Carragher.
Jamie Carragher. I'm enjoying this. One or two midfielders or one or two forwards. What do you want to do?
Yeah, I'm going Steven Gerrard.
He had to be there.
Yeah. Steve McManaman.
Next one. Oh,
Steve McManaman.
And me. That's
Right
all
on.
right, that. That's all right, that, isn't it?
do you take McManaman?
Can't believe this.
Yeah, but he's bad, he's not a Scouser, is he?
And you
Might as well.
Oh, yeah,
be,
no.
He's been living there. That
and
long.
Robbie Fowler.
Yeah, no, I'm in. I'm picking myself.
You've got to back yourself. Like I said to you, mate, I've never seen a person at the side net more than me.
You got to love that.
I mean,
Tony
I'm-
Warner, Jamie Carragher, Steven Gerrard, Steve McManaman, and Robbie Fowler. McManaman,
Yeah.
how do you view him as a player, former player?
Talking to Trent.
I mean,
Yeah.
Real Madrid.
You know what, I'll be honest with you, right? So,
He was a player.
Steve McManaman was my favourite ever player I played with. Now, that sounds stupid because I played with Stevie G, towards my second spell. Stephen was young when I first played, but, I mean, he was unbelievable in my second spell, and he become this world superstar. I mean, you've mentioned John Barnes. John Barnes was incredible.
What was it like watching him train?
I mean, it's unbelievable.
People always told me he was amazing.
One of my big regrets in football, genuinely, was not playing with Barnsley when he was a left winger. Because, I mean, I played with him when he was sort of, not the player he was, but he was still brilliant, but he played in midfield. And he was still dictating games and still controlling.
Still coming in Ken's barbers.
Yeah.
Giving us a little slap on the head.
I mean, he was brilliant, Barnsley. It really was. So, I mean, the likes of Ian Rush, I always, pick all these great players.
yeah, I was sure he'd be in there.
But my favourite player was Steve McManaman because of the relationship and the understanding that we had with each other.
Yeah.
We're very, very good mates.
Still great mates to this
There's
day.
a bit of bias involved in it, of course,
Yeah.
in it, but we were close off the pitch, but we were very, very close on the pitch. And what I loved about Macca as well is, and you've probably seen this when Everton players have scored, you'd always get one player who'll run up and celebrate as though he scored it. And whenever I scored, Macca would... He'd probably celebrate more for me than what he would for his own goals because we had such a great relationship. And I mean, Macca was my favourite.
Love that.
And the fact is that he went over to play for Real Madrid and didn't look out of place with a Galacticos. Tells you everything you need to know about Macca.
That was like
That
one of
is
the very first I
fantastic.
remember
Tony
when I was
Warner,
growing
Jamie
up. Big
Carragher,
moves.
Steven Gerrard, Steve McManaman, and Robbie Fowler. Robbie Fowler's ultimate five-a-side team. The 3-dart challenge. X is up first.
Show Luke Litter what time it is, blood. You know them ways there, yeah? 180, yeah? This man talking about.
Well, now the BetMGM Premier League Darts gets underway this week in Belfast. 17 weeks of action culminating in a playoff final on the 29th of May at the O2 here in London. And joining us now is a man who very much will have his eyes firmly on the trophy, the PDC World Number 5. Let's go Bunting Mental. Welcome to the show, Stephen Bunting. Stephen, how are you?
All good, thanks.
Good to speak to you, my friend. After a huge introduction, we're delighted you're all good. How are you feeling ahead of the first round?
Yeah, no, really looking forward to it, to be honest. Obviously, I've not been in the Premier League for 10 years, so to push myself back up the rankings and back into contention, to be back in, is massive for me. Confidence is really high, and I've had some good results over the starting month of the year, so really looking forward to it, to be honest.
Good man. It's good to hear. The BetMGM Premier League Darts, Stephen, it's a great format, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's unbelievable. Obviously, like you said, 16 weeks going around, a few different countries, travelling the world. Yeah, it's really going to be some spectacle. Obviously, some of the arenas, 10 to 11, 12,000 people in them, all supporting, all going Bunting mental. And yeah, I can't wait to get started.
Steve, your profile's shot up, mate, and it's flying at the moment. Is there anyone you prefer to draw? I mean, is there any rivalries that are brewing under the carpet that you can tell us about it in the back scenes of the darting world?
Obviously, Luke Little is flying, isn't he? So he's the man to beat, I'd say. Luke Humphries just won a title the weekend. Fantastic player as well, really good friend of mine. But there's so many different players there. Obviously, I can't wait to play in Liverpool in front of my home crowd. I don't really care who I'm playing there. I'm going to have the crowd on my side. But I've got Van Gerwen in Rotterdam. So I'm going to have the crowd against me, that one, I'm afraid. But I just can't wait to get going, like I said. And every player who's in the Premier League this year deserves their spot.
Stephen, just a quick question, mate. How are you, pal? You okay?
Yeah, not too bad, Robbie.
Yeah, good, mate. But Steve, you just mentioned obviously the likes of Luke Littler and Luke Humphries just winning trophies. You've just won the trophy yourself, mate, so your confidence must be certainly up there.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like you said, the hard work that's been done, not just this year, but the last few years, the hypnotherapy that I've been going through, from being down in the doldrums a few years ago to world number 5 now, it just goes to show that good things can happen if you work hard. And yeah, I'm full of confidence. I'm playing the best darts of my life at the minute, and I believe I can win the Premier League. So I'm not just in it to take part, I'm in it to try and win it.
You're such a humble man, you know. When they're saying, let's go, Bunting, let's go. What's man talking about? Listen, bro, you must feel like Steven Gerrard walking through Liverpool right now.
Well, when I was in Bahrain, I was hoping I was going to bump into Stevie G. It would have been nice to meet him, but yeah. No, listen, the Let's Go Bunting mental thing, when you put your dart shirt on and stuff, you feel like a superstar, to be honest. You get up on that stage and everyone's there to watch you, and it's an amazing experience. It's great for any fan who goes into them venues and watches us play live. And obviously for us, the main job is to try and put a great show on and give people the best game we can possibly do. Sometimes that doesn't happen, but we're always trying, and that's the main thing.
Stephen, loving it, mate. Let's go Bunting mental, guys.
Come on. Let's go Bunting mental.
Come on.
You lot should have said it with chest, fam. He's over there, yeah, like we're doing a police interview. Give him some love. Let's go Bunting mental. Come on.
Stephen Bunting, we appreciate your time. We wish you all the very best in the BetMGM Premier League Darts. Good luck to you, my friend, and thanks for being with us.
Good luck, mate.
Good luck, Steve.
Thank you very much, guys.
Lad.
Now, the big announcement is on the way, but before I reveal all, with the BetMGM Premier League Darts starting this week, I thought I'd put my panel to the test with the 3-dart challenge. So, boys, you have 3 darts each. The highest score wins. And X, you're up first.
Why me?
The 3-dart challenge. Head over there, my friend, and throw 3 darts at the darts board. You need to take them at the darts board first.
Right, there is 3, but I thought there was 2 on here, Tones, but they're yet me. They're back to back and that.
Let's see what's going on. Okay.
All right, cool. Say no more.
Here we go. The 3-dart challenge. X is up
I'll
first.
show Luke Litter what time it is, blood. You know them way there, yeah? 180, yeah? This man talking about. Yeah.
17.
Hold on, wait. Do the numbers mean something?
17.
3.
3? So what? Does the numbers
No,
mean
17.
That's 17.
17.
Oh, 60.
Oh, I tried to
Oh
get.
my Lord, 67.
Is that good?
77.
I tried to get.
60. Oh my Lord.
What's that?
14, is it?
That's not bad, is it?
Big
91.
numbers. 77. What's that last number that's in?
91.
150.
What are we talking there?
91.
81.
91, is it?
91, Robbie, is
Is
it?
that 14?
Brother, why is this? Why you not
X,
drowning
thank
me out?
you very
Where's my
much.
round of
Come back
applause
here and
and
have
that,
a
bro?
seat.
What's
Well
man
done,
talking
you.
about? Yeah, that's more like
That
it.
is unbelievable.
Tony Bellew, you're next
Swear to
up.
God, I'm having to
that's
yank
all right.
them out the
That's-
board.
Come on, mate. Show us what you can do.
That'll be winning.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tony
Oh,
Bellew.
You're lying.
Oh, no,
One's
that'll...
beat.
Here we
that'll-
go, X.
You got 20. 20.
Tony. I like the throwing
45.
action. 45.
45.
X is storming ahead
Come
to
on,
you.
man, keep it
Am I
straight,
actually
straight.
winning?
You're winning.
Oh, you've just won, bro.
Robbie Fowler.
Yep.
Oh, you've won that.
How?
Let's see what Robbie's capable of.
Treble 20, bro. You're
Come on,
20,
Rob.
Game over.
Oh, God.
12. 32. That's another 12, Rob.
Expressions.
Did I win?
It's the winner. Robbie.
What's man talking about? I told you, man, bruv, yeah? Jeez.
Oh,
yeah?
man. Well, I'll tell you what. Well, we're all getting used to the fact that you've won that.
Brother, you man are playing darts at the pub every week. I've never stepped foot in a pub, blood.
X, you're going to love this because on May the 29th at the O2 Arena, in front of a sellout crowd for the BetMGM Premier League Darts Playoff Finals, You and Tony will both be on stage going head to head, and I'll be in amongst it with you. How do you feel about that, my darts throwing friend?
How many thousands?
Oh, yes. Sold out.
What, the O2?
The whole lot.
Sold out?
Sold out.
Brother, what are you talking about? Is man Justin Bieber, fam? I can't be in front of all of them people, bro. What are you talking about?
Tony, you up for that?
Throwing darts.
Throwing darts.
Tony, I'm not going to lie. If I beat you like I did today, let's get that in there. In front of 20,000 people, you're not going to bring your boxing gloves out.
Just wait until the pressure gets to you, bro.
Pressure?
See, people like me.
Brother, I was born to do it like Craig David, fam. What's man talking about, yeah?
So, make sure you join us again next month. You have been watching the lineup brought to you by BetMGM. Download the app or visit betmgm.co.uk. 18 plus. Gambleaware.org.